London Comic Con 2022 is upon us, and Hasbro recently had their 1027 live stream. So let's check out what Hasbro has in store for the G.I. Joe Classified series. And before we dive into the news, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you can be alerted to the latest news, reviews, and episodes when they drop. Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits News. I'm Michael, and with me is my collector in crime, Larry. Now, this weekend was London's version of Comic-Con, and this past Thursday, Hasbro had their 1027 live stream, kind of ending October with a bang with 2 digital render reveals and some new pipeline reveals. So let's check out what they have in store.
Yeah, it's always cool to see see more reveals from the classified line. So yeah, whether it's digital or actual production figures. So these are cool.
Yes. Yeah, it's all digital render reveals. So let's kick things off with the female Cobra Trooper 2-pack. And it looks like they come with an amazing pack out complete with blast effects.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff here. Really cool. I guess kind of things moving forward because you're seeing more blast effect kind of things. I like that they're doing 2 different kind of accessory loadout
Yeah.
colors. I think that's cool just to kind of swap up the look and just a lot of different options for these. And it introduces kind of a different style Cobra Trooper for the female characters. So
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the pack out looks great. And I love the kind of that deep blue for
mhm.
the digital render. Plus the gold accents look really, really neat.
Yeah, they do. I think it looks cool. So it'll be good to be able to have different display options for these figures.
Yeah, that masked head sculpt looks really neat. It's like kind of like a shock trooper type of head sculpt.
Yeah, I almost wish they had. I mean, I know you can only digitally render so many things, but it would be cool to see that on the figures just
Yeah.
to kind of get a better feel for how it looks. But
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess maybe that's what Photoshop's for. You know, cook
yeah,
something up and see.
yeah,
Just move that head sculpt over to the side. But yeah, it
yeah,
would.
just swap it out.
Yeah, it would look cool. And next up, they had the digital render of Big Ben, and he was up until this point a name only reveal. So this is the first time that we're seeing a digital render for this figure.
Yeah, and he looks kind of like what I would expect him to look. I don't think there are a lot of surprises here. Looks cool. I like the head sculpt, and definitely the extra head sculpt is cool too. So yeah, I think he looks like a solid release.
Yeah, it looks like a solid release, and it's interesting that they're kind of choosing not mainline characters in some of these pipeline reveals, but they are introducing characters that came out later down in the line, kind of maybe when the GI Joe line kind of went off the rails a little bit. But this is a more of a standard looking army trooper.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about him. He's doesn't have we've seen kind of some of the more vibrant colors and things released lately. So it is good to get back to kind of the some of the more muted and kind of standard figures and looks for the GI Joe line. And I think as far as kind of those lesser known characters, I think that's important. It's the same thing as what Mattel's doing with the Origins line and Masterverse line. If you
Yeah.
get all the big names released, early on, then you kind of run out of steam as you get further into it. So
Yeah.
uh, you have to have some of these, and I think as long as they're cool releases, people continue to support the line. So
Yeah, I didn't think about that aspect of it. So it's kind of like kind of how we think about the Origins line where they're, mixing in mainline characters and, kind of more of the characters that, maybe people might want, but, if they're collecting all the wave, they'll get it. So yeah, this is probably one of those figures.
yeah, I think so, and I think he still has a good fan base. So I think there's bound to be a lot of people that are super excited to get Big Ben.
Yeah. And next up, we had another name only reveal. And this is Shadow Tracker, who was introduced as a new character in the Pursuit of Cobra line in 2011. And his bio reads Shadow Tracker works for Cobra as a wilderness hunter and guide. Scorning conventional firearms, he uses traditional weapons from around the world. He tracks his prey using primal instinct. He hears the dark whispers of the jungle, senses distant footfalls in the earth, and tastes his victim's fear in the wind. And really, really unique looking figure here. It kind of reminds me of more of a Rastafari and Jason Voorhees with a little element of Predator mixed in there.
Yeah, that predator element to me is what really stands out, especially kind of with that bio that you read. He just, he has that kind of feel like he'd be kind of ripped out of a Predator movie.
Yeah.
Really cool look. I think, like you said, very unique. I did collect some of the Pursuit of Cobra figures, but this isn't one I had. So
No.
yeah, I think he'll be cool for classified as well.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they're introducing characters from other lines like Pursuit of Cobra now. So that, I mean, that opens the door to a lot of other figures that could be coming to the G.I. Joe Classified series.
Yeah, there were some really cool figures in that line.
Yeah.
And that I look back now and think, man, how did I miss that one?
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool um, kind of figures that we hadn't seen before, and different takes on previous characters. So yeah, this is a cool one.
Yes, definitely. And what is cooler is just his pack out is amazing. And it would be so cool if they made all of these accessories for his figure.
I could see us getting all this. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that it lends itself to a classified pack out just because of, I mean, you usually get a lot of accessories with these figures anyways. So the fact that the Pursuit of Cobra version came with all this stuff, I think is a pretty safe bet that we'll see most, if not all, and maybe extra stuff on top of it,
Oh, yeah.
with better detail. So
Yeah, I would love to see his net kind of come to fruition to the line because I think there were a few that used nets in the GI Joe line, so I could totally see them reusing the net and also just making some brand new weapon sculpts too.
yeah, yeah, a lot of kind of options here, and new things that they could use here, and then use further on down the line too.
Definitely. And before we close out, just wanted to kind of circle back to Hasbro's 1027 live stream where they revealed Chuckles as the next name only reveal, which is not surprising as he's been on Hasbro's Meet the Characters page since it launched. And so he's a deep cover agent. He's not really well known. And I think I was seeing a lot of comments for people like, okay, why is Chuckles being added to the line? Or who the heck is Chuckles anyway?
Yeah, I don't know, there's not a lot of I don't know, kind of uniqueness. I don't know what they can do with a classified figure. He just doesn't look like kind of in the way that we've seen him. He doesn't seem like he would have all that much to offer as far
Yeah.
as a classified figure, detail wise. But I'm sure they'll come up with something cool.
Yeah, and he came out in '87, and he came out as I was getting out of collecting GI Joe, but his attire makes sense as he's a deep cover agent, so he kind of looks like a tourist that's packing some heat.
Yeah, yeah, he does. And he's got a cool look to him, so it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. But
Yeah,
I think if you give him some cool accessories, and I think the kind of the Hawaiian shirt, really makes him stand out. He'll look cool on the shelf with the rest of the figures. So
yeah, and yeah, I think he'd kind of be an interesting, kind of more different GI Joe character. It's kind of just a more standard looking person and not more of a military type of character.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's a lot of what made the GI Joe line appealing. I think as a kid, because you had some of those a lot of characters that weren't kind of the traditional military look, like
Yeah.
Bazooka. Um, so I think that's kind of to me where Chuckles fits in, as he has that different kind of look to him, almost like Magnum, just without the cool mustache.
Yeah. So funny. Yeah, we were getting some Magnum PI references in there too. So yeah, and thanks to Yojo ARAH for this concept of what this figure could look like. He is an amazing customizer who posts his stuff on Instagram. So I think I actually kind of like his idea of just having like an open shirt, just a kind of a different vibe for the figure.
Yeah, yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways they could handle him. So if they can pull it off and have it look, still have it look natural, I think that's a cool way to go.
Definitely. And let us know what you think of these reveals in the comments below and what you are most looking forward to and what you think of the Shadow Tracker figure. I'm Michael.
And I'm Larry.
And before we click the wrong thing.
You know what? Let's just leave all that in there. Let's just do the outro again.
All right, sounds good. All right, so let us know what you think of the reveals in the comments below and what you're most looking forward to and what you think of Shadow Tracker. I'm Michael,
And I'm Larry.
and thanks for tuning into this Toy Habits News Brief.
That was